If no one else will say it, then I will. Ever since the breakout of COVID-19 in March of last year, the subsequent lockdowns, and the government's attempts to keep things under control, things have been crazy. However, as a silver lining to the prolonged and still ongoing isolation we've all been forced to endure, I managed to get quite a bit of reading done. So, let's get into the top 10 books that I've read since the beginning of the pandemic. Number 10. Warriors, Starlight. Starlight is the fourth book in the second Warrior Cat series, and it does a great job of introducing us to the new lake territories as well as addressing some of the difficulties that the clans experienced during the Great Journey. It provides us with a more nuanced look at Crowfeather through the eyes of Leafpool, but the Squirrel Flight storyline left me disappointed, so I can't rate this one any higher.
Moving on!
Number 9. Warriors, Rising Storm. Rising Storm, the third to last book in the Prophecies Begins, is undoubtedly a masterwork of subtle storytelling and character plot lines. From Fireheart's constant second-guessing to Yellowfang's heartbreaking death scene, Rising Storm delivers on all fronts with every cylinder firing. However, I feel as though the Cloudpaw arc could have been handled better, and it does lose points for its problematic portrayal of owls. It's like the authors never even read Guardians of Ga'Hoole. Jeez. Number 8. Firestar's Quest. Firestar's Quest is the first super edition, taking place between the defeat of BloodClan and the events of the New Prophecy. There are a lot of things that this book does well, but ultimately it drags towards the middle and feels simultaneously too long and too short. It feels evident that the author merely wrote it as a solution to the spotted leaf problem, which does end up providing a much-needed patch on the relationship between Firestar and Sandstorm, but does end up feeling a little hackneyed and trite. Number 7. Warriors, Fire and Ice. Fire and Ice is the second book of the Warrior Cat series, and it does a fantastic job of bringing us back into this fantastic world while steadily ramping up the drama that we've come to expect. Tiger Claw is back, and badder than ever, and the Greystripe and Silverstream plotline does not disappoint. However, the resolution of the tension between Fireheart and Greystripe does feel a little contrived, as Greystripe does basically nothing to change his behavior and may not have earned a happy ending in the eyes of some readers. Number 6. Warriors, Midnight. Now, I know what you're thinking. Spencer, another Warrior Cats book? But I would be remiss if I left Midnight off of this list. Midnight is the first book of the New Prophecy, the second Warrior Cats arc, and it starts off with a bang! Brambleclaw and his friends from all 4 clans must journey across the world in order to face an unknown danger that troubles their families back home. Along the way, they face trials, troubles, and tribulations, but grow closer as a group and learn to overcome their differences. My only quibble is it might be a little difficult to parse for a new reader. Number 5. Warriors, Moonrise. Moonrise is the direct sequel to Midnight, the previous book, and I would say it's the superior of the two. It introduces us to the Tribe of Rushing Water, a separate group of cats with strange customs like slathering themselves with mud and what they call the giving of close comfort. However, some details about this book may irk longtime readers, such as the tribe confusing Stormfur for the prophesied Silver Cat, even though he's described as being a stone gray cat like his father. The book handwaves this at the end, but the excuse feels weak. Number 3. Warriors, Into the Wild. Without a doubt, the third best book I've read this year would be the first book of the Warriors series, Into the Wild. Into the Wild does a fantastic job of bringing you into this magical world and keeping you there with grounded and introspective prose laden with subtle details that make you feel like you are Rusty as he enters the world of ThunderClan and becomes Firepaw. We come to love Firepaw's friends, Greypaw, Ravenpaw, Whitestorm, and even Lionheart, just as much as we hate and fear his enemies, Tigerclaw, Darkstripe, Longtail, and nefarious Mousefur. Into the Wild does an incredible job of building the world and subverting your expectations while still making you feel, in some ways, at home. Number 2. Warriors, The Darkest Hour. The Darkest Hour is the conclusion to the first Warriors arc, and it delivers on every promise it sets out to fulfill. The prose is gripping, and the goodbyes are sentimental. Watching Cinderpelt prepare for the great battle, Sandstorm and Mistyfoot training the kittens to defend their homes, and the unforgettable death of Tigerstar at the hands of feline diabetes, you really feel as though your journey is at an end, with plot twists and diversions that will keep you guessing until the final page is turned. The world of the Warrior Cats was never the same again after this book, and that is why it has earned
So I've read